Good evening, dear students. My name is Ivonne Solano. I am an English teacher. I work at Connect Cartago, and it's a pleasure to be helping you review some of the most important topics for the next evaluation. In unit number 3, you are going to study the topic The Earth, our gift, our responsibility. This topic is very interesting because you are going to learn vocabulary related to natural disasters such as hurricanes, droughts, earthquakes, as well as vocabulary related to environmental problems and possible solutions to help our environment. In this video, we are going to review the most important grammar topics. First, on page 97, you have the simple past tense. This is the most common tense to talk about the past. This tense is used to talk about a past action that started and finished in the past. Some examples are: I bought a new computer last week. He had a great doctor last year. We were in the same school when we were young. So as you can see, all those actions are in the past. To review the verb to be in the past form, it's very important to remember that it means ser o estar. So in past tense, it means fue o estuvo. The verb to be in past is was or were. Remember, we use was for I, he, she, or it, and we use were for you, they, and we. As we can see in this chart, we have affirmative, negative, and questions. The affirmative form is the subject, the verb to be in past form, and the complement. For example, I was here, yo estuve aquí. You were in London. Nosotros estuvimos en London. He was here. Él estuvo aquí. We were in London. Nosotros estuvimos en London. In negative sentences, we're gonna use the subject, the verb to be, the not, and the complement. For example, I was not there. Yo no estuve ahí. You were not happy. Usted no estuvo feliz. In questions, we're gonna use the verb was or were, the verb to be, at the beginning of the sentence. Then we're gonna use the subject, and then we're gonna write a complement. For example, was she right? ¿Estaba ella en lo correcto? Were you late? ¿Estaba usted tarde? Verbs in past tense. The verb to be is one that is used in past tense with was and were, but the regular verbs, most of the verbs, we are gonna change them to a past, adding ed at the end. For example, we have regular verbs: walk, walked, play, played, study, studied. Those are some examples of regular verbs. On the other hand, we have irregular verbs. The irregular verbs are those verbs that change. They don't follow the rule of the ed. So for example, go, ir, en presente. If we want to change it to past, went. fui. Read, read. Teach, taught. As you can see, those verbs don't follow a rule. They are all different. And you have to study the list of irregular verbs and memorize all of them to be able to use them in the past tense form. The simple past tense form. We have affirmative sentences in which you have to write the subject first, then the verb in past tense, regular or irregular, plus the complement. For example, I went to school. Yo fui a la escuela. You worked very hard. Usted trabajó muy duro. In negative sentences, we're going to use the subject plus the auxiliary of the past, that is did, plus not, plus the verb in simple form, plus the complement. For example, she did not go with me. Ella no fue conmigo. We did not work yesterday. Nosotros no trabajamos ayer. In questions, we use did at the beginning of the sentences, then we use the subject, plus the verb in simple form, plus the complement. Did you go to London? ¿Fue usted a Londres? Did they work at home? Did they work at home? ¿Ellos trabajaron en casa? So remember, we use the verbs in past form just in the affirmative sentences in the simple past tense, because the negative sentences and the questions use the auxiliary did, so you don't have to change the verb. You use the verb in the simple form. Don't forget that. Then we're gonna study the past continuous tense. This tense is used to describe parallel actions. For example, while I was waiting the bus, I saw a horrible car accident. Mientras yo esperaba el bus, yo vi un accidente de carro. To describe what someone was doing at a particular point in time. I was studying all morning yesterday. Yo estuve estudiando toda la mañana de ayer. To express interrupted actions in the past. I was doing my exercise when the earthquake happened. Yo estaba haciendo mis ejercicios cuando el terremoto sucedió. To describe repetitions and irritation actions. For example, he was always talking too much. Él estaba siempre hablando demasiado. Remember, we use the past continuous tense to talk about an action that occurred in a continued period of time in the past tense. Let's check the form. In the affirmative sentences, we're going to use the subject plus was or were plus the verb in ing. For example, she was driving all the morning. Ella estuvo manejando toda la mañana. In negative sentences, we're going to use the subject plus was or were plus not plus the verb in ing. For example, he was not feeling good. Él no se estuvo sintiendo bien. In questions, we're going to use was or were at the beginning of the question plus the subject plus the verb in ing. For example, were they playing in the school? ¿Estaban ellos jugando en la escuela? Remember, the past continuous tense It is used with the verb to be in past tense was were plus the verb in ing. Okay guys, this is the end of the video. I really hope this video will help you to study the grammar topics of unit number 3. Have a nice day and see you next class. Remember, keep studying vocabulary and check your reading comprehension exercises in the anthology for getting better and learn more about English. See you!